Hey, welcome to Loose Change. Still with that new studio smell. Well, maybe not new, but it's still pretty good. Hi, I'm Jim Evans. Thanks for joining us for what we think is a pretty unique show, so you want to hang around. You know, we have not had the chance to be in studio much of late because of COVID. We've had to shift gears like a lot of other people. During this time, a lot of folks have just laid low, hanging at home, watching TV, watching a lot of movies, and I came across this. The most popular viewed movie during this time of COVID, The Mask. The least popular, The Mask. Dealing with that, a lot of things still challenging for us. Just recently, Greg, I took out a 30-year mortgage on a tank of gas. So pain at the pump has been tough to deal with for sure. What else? You may have heard about this. This is true. Just recently, a guy went into a local Giant Eagle with fake money. And I saw a picture of this $100 bill, and it said on it, United States Play Money. And he got someone to break it down to 520s for him. He used that money, the real money, to buy lottery tickets, and he hit for $100. I was thinking, usually when someone deceives you and then they cash in, they're a politician. That's usually the case. What else has been going on? Recently, good news for me, and I have to say I'm very honored to have been inducted into the Curbstone Coaches Hall of Fame. It was a great evening among 11 others in this latest class. We were awarded this back at the end of 2019. I had to wait a couple of years, but it was a lot of fun, and again, just a great honor for me to be inducted as a member of the sports media. And Greg, I knew it wasn't going to be bowling, that's for sure, because at this time in my life, my age, hitting my mark means I don't have to mop up the bathroom floor. So, hey, we're going to take a break, and then we'll be right back, so stick around for more of the Loose Change. Welcome back to Loose Change. I'm Jim Evans, and
come on, you can go over now.
It's Greg.
Come on,
everyone.
Come on.
Am I in your parking space?
Yeah, I want you to have a seat there, Jim. Like I said, have a seat.
I will.
I'm Greg Roten. I'm the producer and editor for Loose Change, and we want to throw you a little curveball today.
I guess so. Yeah.
Jim Evans has been with us. This is our 10th year.
That is really cool.
10th year of Loose Change, and Jim sits down with the guests every month, except for the pandemic, with you. But little did you know, we needed to have Jim Evans sit down because a local legend in our, he's interviewed a lot of people in this. But let's give Jim some credit. And you have been born and raised, correct, right here in Youngstown.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Grew up on the south side and eventually moved to Austintown my sophomore year and went to Fitch High and then on to Youngstown State and then into broadcasting and had a little time out of town briefly, but for the most part, been here the entire time for me.
Yeah. So growing up on the South Side, what was that like for you as far as a lot of friends and you played sports as well?
Well, yeah, we had a great neighborhood. A lot of kids on my street growing up. Actually, both neighborhoods were after we moved. A lot of good people. Many of them still friends with. Fortunately, we were able to stay in touch. Don't get to see everyone as much as we'd like to, but. It was just always something going on our street. It was a blast where I grew up, 4 blocks up from South High School, and went to Garfield Elementary and then Princeton Junior High through 9th grade, and then again moved to Austintown and Fitch grades 10 through 12. But you mentioned about sports, and at the time, and it might still be the case, Youngstown City Schools did not have junior high football. We had pretty much every other sport at that time, but no football, grades 7 through 9. And again, high school in city was 10 through 12.
Yeah.
So my father met a guy, just a great person, great gentleman, Jim Calhoun, who was involved with, at the time, the Austintown Wildcats and went on to become the Little Falcons. And he said, we'll have your boys come out and play, my brother Tim and I. So got involved with that and played in 8th and 9th grade, my freshman year. and then going to Fitch. Then was a member of the football team at Fitch High. So great experiences. In my induction speech into the Curbstone Coaches Hall of Fame, I talked about that in that when I was young, I never thought about being in broadcasting. I wanted to play football at the highest level.
It seems like it's everybody's dream when they're that young, and you've got dreams of everything in the world, and you want to go for the top. You want to play football.
And in my freshman year, they played me at every position except offensive line.
Okay.
And I knew the writing was on the wall, though, when they put me at wide receiver. My nickname was Maxwell House. I was good at the last drive. Then went on to quarterback, and I remember one scrimmage we had, and I'm missing everybody. Wide receivers open the whole time. I couldn't hit anyone, and felt so bad. And after the game, my girlfriend at the time was there, and she handed me a note and said, "You incomplete me." So I knew that wasn't going to be the thing for me. So again,
she
on to
wasn't the thing
YSU.
for you either.
Yeah, I was on to YSU, got in the broadcasting program, and got a job out of school, radio, and got it rolling.
But you know what? Even your coach. Let's talk about your high school coach a little bit. I'm sure teachers that have influence in you, with you for all those years in high school. Those teachers talk about the teacher that or coach that influenced you the most.
Oh boy, they're all great guys. Probably our quarterbacks coach, Jim Patty. I liked his approach.
Okay.
Again, he took the teaching approach
Perfect.
more so. And with that position, it is a little bit different in that the quarterbacks have to deal with a lot of things that other positions don't. So you kind of have to take a little different approach. But I think of him often. We had a great head coach with Jim Duramo and then Bob Price.
Okay.
So we were all fortunate to have those guys. But Jim Patty, would be the guy I would think about. And honestly, my brother-in-law, Jim Bengala, who was a standout quarterback at Cardinal Mooney and then at Miami of Ohio, worked out with me prior to my senior year. And I learned so much from him. He was still in school finishing up down in Miami, and I went down there, stayed for a week with he and my sister, Deb, and we worked out all week long. And he showed me little intricacies about playing quarterback that, from his experience that, I wasn't able to gain otherwise. And that was a terrific experience for me and helped me out a lot. And I always remember that as well.
Yeah, I have to just mention for you boomers, or for you millennials and everybody else watching the show, us boomers is Maxwell's "Good to the Last Drop" was a commercial, so we had to mention that.
You had to cover the punchline.
Yeah. And plus, I'm timing this because there's nobody else we pay to run.
Yeah, I was going to ask
yeah.
you who's giving you time cues here.
Yeah, we're a little few minutes
automatic
in here.
pilot here.
Well, I'll tell you what, you went for telecommunications. Now, what got you interested in telecommunications? Did you just go into YSU and have no clue what you wanted to do?
Exactly.
And see, that's most of us. And you sit there and...
I started in accounting, and it was like, okay, I wasn't sure as I got into it.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe it'd be all right. And then I became friends with the guy who was in the telecom program. He had a book sitting on the table in Kilcawley one day, and I said, I didn't even know they had that program.
Yeah.
And he said, oh yeah, well, coursework and stuff. And I thought that might be something I might enjoy and be good at perhaps. So I switched majors and went to that program at the time, and also got certified to teach secondary education.
Okay.
And right out of school, got a job in radio sales and did that for a few months. And then there was an on-air opening, which is what I really wanted to do, in Salem, WSOM QXK, and got the opportunity down there and learned a whole lot, that experience.
Now, did you have an internship down there, or you actually got hired
No,
down there?
just
Okay.
got hired.
Excellent.
And I guess I kept bugging them enough that they, all right, we'll let you come in and
This
do
poor
this.
kid out of YSU. Look, he's getting into
But,
telecom.
it was such a great place. There were such great people, the Dixon family, and a gentleman named Bob Harnack, who was the general manager at the time, and you had to do almost everything. I was a radio DJ, and
Yeah.
then on to, and I had to do the news as well, and then had the opportunity to do sports not long after that, play-by-play. But you could make mistakes and learn, and
Yeah.
and that was a great training ground for me.
A different time and era back then when, college and telecom and that, and it was more hands-on, it seems
Yes.
like. And there was no electronics involved whatsoever.
Very little.
And you're, doing the boards, you're doing radio, you're doing TV, you got a little
Queuing
bit of
up
everything.
records.
Yeah,
and, you know,
yeah.
and
Yeah, and it's not the queuing up records like you think of the rap music or the hip-hop, right? No.
actually had to do that to
That's
get
probably what's-
the intro time.
Did you start it? Did you start the hip-hop era doing that?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, that's why you're sitting here with me. So that was a good time. Any memories that click on broadcasting program back then that really stand out? Did you do? Now, sports was still in your, obviously still in your heart, in your mind, and anything to do with the sports, the telecom communications.
Well,
there?
at that time, just to be honest, it was still the program was still kind of, I don't know if finding its way was the right description, but
Yeah.
I learned a lot. Took a lot, into the job market. That radio job I got. Had a gentleman named, we're dialing back here, Boots Bell, who was a legendary
Bell,
radio DJ, and
you-
I had him for several classes.
And there's a lot of
that was
mention
cool.
about Boots Bell. He is another legend, as well as you and a lot of other people in here. So, Salem. Talk about that job a little bit. What?
Again, it was I started out as a radio DJ, and then it just morphed into doing sport. I became the sports director.
There you go.
And doing football and basketball play-by-play at Salem, as well as West Branch for a little while. And it was just a great place to learn. And there were great people that were working there. Small market radio. No one was making any money, but we were having a blast.
Yeah, that was a fun time to do.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
And three guys that I became friends with, I'm still close with from that time, and I'm blessed to have had them and so many other great people to work with, not just there, but along the way after that.
No. So, we're going to move on here. We're going to take a little break, but can you stick around?
Yes.
You don't get paid unless you do.
You just said it.
We'll be right back with more Loose Change. Stick around.
That's right.
Welcome back to Loose Change. I'm Greg Roten, the producer and editor of Loose Change, and this is a host of Loose Change, Jim Evans,
Yeah.
except for right now.
We're doing a little flip-flop here today.
What we're doing, we're featuring Jim because it's our 10-year anniversary for Loose Change. It's been 10 years and a ton of guests for you.
Oh my gosh.
But let's dive back into you. We're gonna concentrate on your career now, and you started at Salem.
Mm-hmm. Radio. Mm-hmm.
Yep, then radio, and you had a little bit of stint at WFMJ.
Yes. Steve Meckling was sports director at the time, and they had an opening. Actually, it was filling in weekend sports. The great Denny Liebert had to take some time off, so I got that opportunity. And after he returned, I remained there as weekend news producer. But I also filled in, on the air doing sports and even the news a couple times at TV 21. So a lot of great people there, and that was a great experience for me too.
Yeah, it got a little bit more of your foot in the door,
Yes.
and got some more experience for you. And Jim and I have known each other forever because we worked at WKBN together back in the
27.
90s.
That's right.
So, this is where we could get deep diving into stories about WKBN.
Because many we can't tell here on
But WKBN, when did you start at WKBN?
that was in the fall of 1986.
Okay, so you were in sports there at
Yes.
WKBN, and to give us a little insight of how you got into that door and where that led you.
Well, Jim Campbell gave me a call and So we had this opportunity and wanted to know if I'd be interested. You knew I was down at 21.
Yep.
But I was, part-time there, still working in radio, actually, when I was at 21.
Yeah.
In Salem. So I was doing a couple jobs. For a while there, I had a stint where I was doing 7 days a week. That was like 6-7 months, But Jim called and went and did an audition and went pretty good. And it seemed to be maybe the better opportunity at the time. And we went with it and got involved at the big KBN. And what a great place that was, the Williamson family,
Yeah, that was
running the operation. They were just great people to work for. And that was one of the reasons I hung around, not only because, this is my hometown, but they were just good people to work for. And had they not been, I probably would have sought other, avenues, probably out of town. Mm-hmm. And it was a good place.
Now, you worked with Jim Campbell, and you work weekends.
Mm-hmm.
I think we worked weekends together when I started back in '93. So you were assistant sports director, correct? And Jim Campbell was sports director. And some of the things that games that stood out for you when you were working at WKBN.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, I mean, there's a ton of games but there's
so many things, and I talked about this, the Curbstone banquet.
And we'll get that in a minute.
My induction speech, but this is, and I continue to feel this way and tell people, this is one of the most, if not the most, unique sports market anywhere in this country. And the reason is because everything we have here, our size, first of all, now a medium market, I'll call it, because we were a solid medium market for quite a long time, and now the population has slipped back some, so we're a medium market. But with what we have here, our great high school programs, everything at Youngstown State, all of these surrounding great small colleges we have, just down the road either way, and we're right in the middle of 2 major league cities.
Yeah.
2, now there are other markets. There are other places where you have 2 major league cities that are close in proximity, like Baltimore and Washington, D.C., just to name one. But there's no market right in between those two.
Yeah,
so
those markets are a market and a market.
That's
right
it.
here, we're in a market between those 2 markets
Exactly.
as far as TV goes.
So, if you're a fan, and certainly, a sportscaster, sports journalist, whatever, this is, just a 5-star buffet.
Yeah,
here.
It's like
everything
kids
we
in a
have.
candy store
Absolutely.
for broadcasting.
With everything in, Pittsburgh and Cleveland and Pittsburgh, NFL, Major League Baseball, NBA, NHL, and again, everything we have here, and all the great athletes and coaches we have here. I've been so blessed to become acquaintances with so many of the great coaches we have locally here, and all the athletes that have gone on to the highest levels of achievement from this area, are world champion boxers that we have here, not just 1 or 2, we have a half dozen.
Yeah.
And for a market this size, and I remember reading, it was a couple years ago, a report that this area per capita had the most people in the NFL than anywhere in the country.
That's amazing. Little Youngstown, Ohio here has that statistic that is.
But everybody, you know what? Because of the folks that have gone on to such high achievements, everybody nationally knows about Youngstown, Ohio.
Oh, yeah.
And what President Tressel did with the championship run, the football championship run, and again, all the people that have gone on and that's done such great things in sports that most everyone knows. Hey, Youngstown.
Yeah, and as far as Jim Tressel, you've worked with Jim Tressel quite a bit.
Yes, I had a chance to get to know, he's President Tressel now, but coach at the time, and I still call him coach. I saw him at the bank. Hey, coach.
Everybody calls him coach
But
because
that's,
hey, you can't get, you're always a coach.
yeah, when you play, and I see any of my high school coaches, they're coach. That's what it is. But I got a chance to cover the Penguins obviously a lot, and then one season I got a chance to co-host the Jim Tressel show with him, and that was a great experience for me, and I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, and Jim Evans Sports Challenge. I wanted to touch on that.
Oh, boy.
Okay, if you don't know what Jim Evans Sports Challenge is we've got to tell you.
I've actually found a T-shirt that we used to give away when we do these things, and I have it in one of my dresser drawers, and still has the thing there. But
Wow.
the idea was that people would write in and challenge me to different sporting encounters, so
Yeah.
to speak. And we covered a lot of things, but my whole approach to that was I wanted to make it entertaining.
Yeah.
I never went into that trying to actually beat somebody at what they were challenged me to do. Most of the time, well, a lot of times I couldn't.
Yeah.
But I never went in with the idea, okay, I'm gonna beat them, I'm gonna whip them. No, it was we would do some things, whatever it might be, and then I tried to integrate some bits along the way to make it fun to watch. And
Yeah.
for the most part, most of them worked pretty well, I thought.
Yeah, that's a lot that's lost into the broadcasting world is the
Yeah.
entertainment value of
Well,
even news, sports.
And I've done news, and news is news. You got to play it, down the middle.
Yeah.
The great thing about doing sports is there are certainly sports stories and events and whatever that you have to treat with a serious tone. But otherwise, sports is entertainment.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And you have the latitude to take some chances and do some things and make it fun to watch, perhaps.
No, I had to throw a little zinger in here for you. Did you ever heat a cheeseburger with a hairdryer?
Yes.
It's inside joke for WKBN employees.
You remember that?
I still have the tape from that. We used to
Oh,
do
boy.
employee fun videos, and we had Jim Evans trying to heat a cheeseburger with a hairdryer because the microwave broke, and then Tom Holt's in the studio.
We
and
had the
are
lights
going
flicker,
out. Yeah.
when I'm
It-
running the hairdryer.
It's one of those you had to be there moments.
That bit worked out pretty good, though.
It was funny, and I still remember that.
Yeah.
And I still have that on tape somewhere, so I'll have to dig it out. But WKBN, WNIO. Let's talk about your iHeart bit.
Well, at the time, I was out of town briefly, came back and hooked up. At the time, it was Clear Channel Radio.
Yeah, Clear Channel.
Again, Jim had moved over to radio
Mm-hmm.
there at Campbell, and Bill Kelly was,
Yeah.
running the show, and they had an opportunity to do sports play-by-play, football and basketball, and I was doing some things at the Youngstown, the Funny Farm Comedy Club too, but it allowed me to have the time to do play-by-play again.
Mm-hmm.
I hadn't done that in a while. I did that in Salem, then KBN 27, was strictly TV, and then got the chance to get into play-by-play again, and it was a great opportunity and a lot of fun to get involved with that, and still doing that. So I'm very fortunate to continue to to have these experiences that most people don't have the chance to have.
And you also do a little teaching as well.
Yeah, at Youngstown State, initially taught a speech communication class, and then moved on to teach survey mass communication, then TV and radio announcing, and an interviewing class, and that was been a great experience as
Yeah.
well. And there's several people that I had in my classes that are working right now locally in the business, and not so much because of me, but obviously the whole program.
Oh,
the program has really advanced to where it's at now.
Well,
it's a great thing for people.
You couldn't get a better teacher than you
Well-
because you got the experience to do it.
My approach was hands-on. It
gotta
wasn't
have
about
that.
sitting and talking
No.
about out of a text.
Yeah.
You have to do it.
Yep.
And one of the first things I would tell students is, I want you to take something from this class because you're going to get an audition with your interview if you want to do this on air, radio or TV. And they don't want to know about theory. They want to see and hear what you can do. And, you take that from there. Not to discount, fundamentals and things like that, but it was more of a hands-on. You have to know how to
You got to
do
put
this.
those fundamentals to work.
Correct.
Yep. Let's talk about you were honored at the Curbstone Coaches Sports Hall of Fame. You were inducted,
Just
and that
recently.
is a huge honor in this valley. We've got top-notch coaches, players, and broadcasters.
Oh, it's a great honor for me. And this happened. I got a phone call. It was Thanksgiving weekend, 2019,
Oh,
and
Yeah.
the banquet was going to be in May of 2020. Well, they canceled it because of COVID. Canceled it last year again, and things have gotten better. This year that it went forward, and it was a great night. I've been to several of them just in attendance, but to be part of it was really special. It was a great crowd, and they do a tremendous job of just running the whole thing. And everyone that I had there, excuse me, really enjoyed the evening. I gave you a mention as well, my thank yous. So
bow down and humble.
you were in on the action. So
That's the only action I'm getting in any sports. Cause if you know me, I don't know anything about sports, so that's why I come to you. And,
But I was one of 12 people inducted. That included Coach Phil Anarella posthumously, and of course we had Coach on here and remembered him as well. Also in the group was a guy named Joe McHenry, along with myself and Joe and Coach. That made it a trifecta, the hat trick for the Fitch Falcons, because Joe went to Fitch as well. There was Dr. Andrew Bushy, Rick Shepis, who we've had on the show, Coach John Turco, Denise Gorski, Sandra DePizzo, Mike Banks, Tim Joyce, along with Tim Filipovich. I had to pronounce his name a couple times, and John Zabrowski, and very special group.
And how do you remember all those names?
That's part of doing play-by-play.
That is.
I got to memorize these rosters, and
Yeah, play-by-play is not just from sitting talking. You got to memorize those rosters. But
the very special group, and I can't thank the people involved with Kearstone coaches enough for thinking of me. I'm just the fifth member of sports media, electronic media, to be inducted. So that makes it all the more special for me.
Yeah, and then like I said, we got you here on Loose Change, and it's been 10 years, and we've had a run of great guests.
Oh my gosh, yeah, just so many. I can't remember. I can't rattle off all those folks, but if we had time, I'd give it the old caller's try.
But I tell you what, we got about a minute left. See.
We're getting a time cue over here.
I got the time cue. Anyway, I'm going to throw one of your questions that you asked almost every coach that comes in here. What's changed? But I'm going to, what's changed not with only the kids at high school sports, but the kids and broadcasting. What's changed? What has changed the most?
Loose change.
That's what's changed the most here. Jim, I want to thank you for being a guest on your own show.
Well, I can't thank you enough, Greg. This is really cool. I don't know if we have time. I just think that the athletes have matured and developed at the high school level, and broadcasting, of course, has changed in a lot of ways in terms of TV coverage. Digital and radio pretty much has remained. The equipment's a little bit better, but getting out there and being involved at the high school level, where the sports are or is at its purest.
And we're happy to have you, and happy to have you in the Valley. And thanks, Jim, for being a guest on your own show. Stick around.
Thank you.
We'll stick around. We'll be right back with Loose Change.
We need to switch seats. Well, that's going to do it for our show. Thanks so much to Greg Roten. Greg, you did a great job in the interview. It was a lot of fun to sit in the other seat there for a change. And thanks as well to the Curbstone coaches once again, along with Ed Reese and Greg Lewis. A tremendous honor for me. I also want to slip in a special thanks, and get a chance to do it during our interview, Greg, to Champ Summers, a.k.a. Tony Devo, along with the incomparable Danny Lieber, who should also be among that group with the Curbstone. Thanks to all of you for watching. Catch us on YouTube. Don't remember the Armstrong Loose Change. And you know what? We'll catch you next time right here on Loose Change.